Hey guys, welcome back to Line Creek. I'm Bridget, and today I'm working on the rag quilts that I'll be making for my grandkids again. I've already started putting the layers, pinning them together, and I thought I would stop and record and show y'all how to do that just in case you're following along. I have all of my squares cut. These are receiving blankets that my daughter has handed down. All of this is Christmas pajamas, receiving blankets, scraps. All of this is recycled. So use what you've got. So here are two pieces of the print. Let me get a print that's maybe you can see a little better. Let's do this. These were some fall pajamas that I made for my grandson. They got little dogs and pumpkins on them. So we'll take two of those, for a front and a back, and we're going to pull those apart just like that. And I'm lining it with solids that I have. And I also, for the darker pieces, I'll show you what I'm planning on doing with that. And you just align the white square in the middle, and then you place the other print piece right on top. And now you have 3 layers of flannel all lined up together. And then I'm just going to put a couple of pins kind of diagonal of the square, and I'll bring you closer to so that you can see it, see me actually do it. And there you have it, 3 pieces pinned, all sandwiched together. Pretty sides are pointing out, and the middle piece is the solid in between there. Let me dig out some dark here. Okay. Right here is some dark. And here. Yes. Okay, with the dark, there are some of the dark that I have a lot of fabric. So this black with the gingerbread men and cookies and stuff on it, I had a lot of this flannel left over. So what I'm doing with it, I'm actually going to take 3 pieces of it. Instead of using a solid, I'm just going to sandwich that third piece in the middle of this. So just as long as I'm taking a third piece and placing it right over the top of the other 2, and just make sure that pretty side and pretty side are out. It's all lined up. Then we'll pin. So these are going to be a little bit different than the lighter pieces, because I've got lighter piece solids, so that's kind of what we're doing with that. But like this black, I have so much of this black fabric left that I'm going to be able to, that middle piece, be a matching piece with that. And that means that the fray or the rag part of the block, once they're all sewed together and washed, it will have a darker fray because it will be from the black, have more of the black fabric in it. So that's just kind of what I'm doing right now. I am going to go back to doing my lighters because I kind of do have a plan there. And we'll just continue on like this. am gonna go ahead and move the camera so that you can see, get a bird's eye view of what we're doing. Here are pretty side and pretty side. I'm just gonna open this up, lay it like that, and then your solid piece or whatever piece you're going to sandwich in the middle, you're gonna line that up just like that. And if it's easy just to straighten up, and then you're gonna make the pretty side on the top, and then I'm pinning kind of on a diagonal because when I go to sew this, I'm going to chain piece them, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to sew from corner to corner, all of them together, and then once I get a whole big bunch of, when I get a whole big bunch of them done, then I will take and clip them all apart, and then I will sew from this corner to this corner, making an X on this block. And that's going to secure all 3 layers together. See, all 3 layers, pretty side and pretty side. And that is the next step of constructing this rag quilt. I'll show you one more. Take them apart. Take the solid piece, line it up, and then take pretty side out and lay it right on top. And then we'll pin. And when I get a big stack, or actually when I run out of straight pins, I'm gonna take them to the sewing machine and start doing that diagonal stitching. Okay, I have a bunch pinned together. I am going to start with, I am going to try to do my light color stitching with white, with the fabric that's like the white background. I am going to match my thread with that, and then when I come to the black, I've not decided if I'm going to still do the white stitching or if I'm going to change to black thread. I may do one just to see what it looks like. But yeah, let's go take all this to the sewing machine and get started doing our diagonal stitching. All right. Okay, we're at the sewing machine. I hope you can see what we're doing here. I have my machine set to a longer stitch, just a straight stitch, right in the center. I've made sure that my bobbin is full because there's nothing worse than sewing these chain pieces alone and you're sewing into air because your bobbins run out. So that's something that I've always kind of watched. And like I said, we're just going to chain piece these. Just for demonstration purposes, Now that we've got several chain pieces together, I'm going to come back here and take the pins out. And as I'm taking the pins out, I'm just going to snip them. And then we will be able to sew them the opposite way to make that X across the block. Okay, I have stitched the line this way, and now we're turning the block and making the X. And some people draw a line. I'm just eyeballing it. It doesn't have to be a perfect line, but most of the time you can see going corner to corner with a straight stitch. I feel that this is a very forgiving quilt to make. And I love the fact that it is a use what you have kind of project. And if I'm using what I have for a gift, that's even better. This blanket, the fabrics in it cradled them as a baby, and now it's going to be able to cradle them through their life. You have the first round of squares that I have sewed the X on. Let me bring you a little closer so that you can, let me hold this up so that you can maybe see that. Can you see the X? And that's just going to secure all three layers together, pretty side to pretty side. Or whatever you decide. You can make this out of regular cotton. I just chose cotton flannel because I wanted it to be a use what you had kind of project, and I think that it's a fun way to reuse things that you have. All right, till next time. Thank you. Bye.